What's up, guys? On this next segment, we're going to talk about fall time fishing. This has grown to be one of my favorite times of the year to fish for a couple reasons. Number one, most of the time I have the lake to myself. Most people kind of lose interest in fishing. They get tied up in football, deer hunting, and distracted with a lot of different things that take away from their fishing time. So the lakes get a lot less pressure during the fall time. However, some of the reason people lose interest is because the fall time of the year can be extremely tough to locate fish and understand the migration routes. Especially in the fall, the migration routes are not quite as distinct, and the move to shallows and the paths that the fish take is not as drastic and dramatic as it is in other times of the year, particularly the springtime of the year. We can easily pinpoint out where fish are moving in the traditional migration routes, but in the fall time things kind of trickle a lot slower, and that can make things a lot more difficult to pinpoint where and how to catch those fish. So I'm going to show you a couple of the baits that work well for me, and I'll also kind of walk you through some of the migration routes that I look for and some of the things that help me catch bass in the fall time. For me, fall time is a lot about shad imitation. This time of the year, the shad is starting to make its migration route back to the back of the creeks off of the main lake. So I'm going to try to catch those fish gorging on those shad in those primary staging areas, just like I would in the springtime. It's not quite as pronounced and not as easy to find this time of the year, but with a little bit of help, I can show you exactly how to pinpoint those stopping points with a shad, make that migration route back to the back of the creeks off of the main lake. But every bait that I use during the fall time of the year is going to be centered around shad and shad imitators. Everything from crankbaits, spinner baits, my soft plastic, my drop shot baits. I choose those baits with imitating the shad in mind. So I'll show you the baits that I use, how I use them, where I use them, and hopefully it'll make you a better fall time fisherman. We're going to talk about a bunch of different baits. We're going to divide it into 3 different distinct categories of baits. A lot of times when you hear people talk about baits, they just give you the top 5, top 6 baits. For me, it's a little bit more complex than that, and it depends on what type of fishery you're fishing and how early or late you are into the fall time of the year. I'm going to divide it into about 3 categories. The first category is hard baits. I'm going to show you some of the crankbaits, swim baits, spinner baits, square bill crankbaits that I like to use in the fall time of the year. Everybody loves a topwater bite, and the fall can offer some of the best topwater action of the entire year. So we're going to look at some of my favorite topwater bites, topwater baits, where to throw them, how to use them, and so forth. The category that we're going to look at is going to be soft plastic baits. Soft plastic baits are a staple in everybody's arsenal pretty much all of the year. I'm going to show you some of the baits that I use to entice some of those deep, mid-range, and shallow bass, and it'll make you a better soft plastic fisherman in the fall time. Thanks for taking time to watch this video. I hope you guys learned something. Don't forget to subscribe and make sure to check with me every Thursday for new videos.